I'm Michael Betel, president and founder of the Fatty Liver Alliance. We raise awareness about the risk, causes, and complications of fatty liver disease and help those already diagnosed with MASLD and MASH by advocating for access to approved treatments and care. I am thrilled to be with Professor Giada Sebastiani, who's a hepatologist, researcher, a wonderful patient advocate from McGill University in Montreal, Quebec, who cares so deeply for her patients and the work that she does every day. She is also the president-elect for the Canadian Association for the Study of the Liver. Giada, you recently had a review article published about the need for a more holistic approach to fatty liver disease, now known as MASLD. Rezdiffra is now approved for MASH in the US, which I know you know very well, and it's indicated with lifestyle management, including diet and exercise. There are a lot of people that struggle with lifestyle management, and for them, the pharmacological solutions are their savior, and there's a lot of excitement about that. What are your thoughts about the criticality of also including diet and exercise and behavioral support for MASLD patients?
Oh, thank you very much, Mike, for providing such an important, summary on really the holistic approach to MASLD. As you said, I am really an advocate together with you for a more comprehensive and multidisciplinary and holistic approach to MASLD, because really this is a disease which is not a single organ target, but rather it's a multi-system disease, and it's really a problem of metabolic health that goes beyond only the liver. So I am in agreement with you in the sense that it's great that we have finally some pharmacological solutions for the liver fibrosis and MASH induced in patients with MASLD. And this is really a very dynamic field that is moving very fast. And the approval by FDA of the resmetirom is really a very important step forward, the right direction of treating patients with MASH and liver fibrosis and MASLD overall. However, I think it's very important to keep also an important focus on this multidisciplinary and holistic approach to MASLD. In this review article that we just published, together also with the expert psychotherapist in eating disorders, we indeed speak about the revolution of pharmacotherapy in MASLD, but also the fact that this has always to be in the context of an holistic and multidisciplinary approach to the disease. Indeed, as you said very clearly, the approach to MASLD is not only based on pharmacotherapy or not only based on diet or lifestyle modification, but really this has to be comprehensive. So pharmacotherapy cannot prescind from also the diet and lifestyle modifications. What is very interesting when we were actually writing this review article that we published in Expert Reviews, Gastroenterology and Hepatology, is that a significant proportion of patients living with obesity, which ranges about 25, 30, even 50%, also live with a eating disorder. So the concept is that obviously obesity is one of the most important driver, together with type 2 diabetes, of MASLD, and also, of course, liver fibrosis induced by MASLD. So we should also think about treating these patients upstream. So the problem of an eating disorder is upstream obesity. Of course, it's upstream the liver disease, and then it's also upstream fibrosis induced by MASLD and the liver disease. So an intervention like behavioral interventions, which can target the eating disorder, that in most of the cases is actually binge eating disorder for patients living with obesity, could actually be an important addition and should be an important addition to an holistic approach to the therapy of MASLD. And in terms of behavioral interventions, some that have been studied and we report in our review article are, for example, self-monitor, goal setting, frequent weighing, and also fostering a supportive social network for patients. So in this context, the pharmacotherapy will even go, in my opinion, a long way, even more than in a single organ situation. So I think that behavioral interventions, treating binge eating disorder, diet, exercise, and pharmacological therapy would be the best approach for our patients.
Okay, I love that summary. It makes it really clear. One thing that you haven't touched upon yet that I wanted to talk about is the use of tools like the continuous glucose monitors. I just had one on for, for a month straight, and I learned a lot about how my body reacts to different foods at different times, the impact of exercise, and even like a glucose memory effect that seems to happen when you have a lot of peaks and troughs. So what about patients who can afford it, because it may not be covered for them, but they're not inexpensive, right? These tools.
Yeah, I agree. I think these tools, in general, I think that technology can come in hand for in this kind of clinical situations for obesity, for MASLD. For example, apps, telemedicine, and so on. And we also mentioned this in our review article, specifically for glucose monitoring tools. I think these are very important tools, especially, of course, with patients for patients who have glucose intolerance, who have type 2 diabetes, and who have some kind of history of glucose dysfunction and dysmetabolism. I think that the use in a general clinical context or in the general population, it's interesting. It should be more explored and also interpreted, with some clinical knowledge, maybe also with the help of the primary care physician, because of course these are all numbers that should be put in the context of the specific characteristics of the individual, always in light of individualization. So I agree with your point of view.
And you know what? I just thought of one more too. I'm going to acknowledge my friend Jonathan Stein, who also has written a couple papers about the importance of exercise, and actually writes prescriptions for exercise for patients. So what do you think about that approach?
I think this is a fantastic approach, actually, because really this underlines that the physician, the specialist, really think that exercise is actually therapy. Exercise is a therapy. It's a therapy for people with obesity, it's a therapy for people with type 2 diabetes, and it's a therapy for people who live with MASLD. So I think this is a fantastic approach. I think this should be done more, because we prescribe pharmacotherapy and we prescribe exercise. It's just part of the same approach for the same disease, which complement each other in a very bidirectional and cumulative way. So I totally agree. I think it's a great point.
Yeah, I love talking with you because you always share so many insights, and you publish so much in so many different areas. And so, we try to grab you when we can to try to share some insights with other people. And thank you so much for today.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mike, for your time and for your advocacy.
Pleasure.